you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
Okay, very quick video about how many possible sales, how much possible income a lot of people simply miss. They leave it just as an untouched opportunity. The thing is, I'm now busy with upscaling multiple projects in multiple countries, etc. Blah blah blah. The thing is, yesterday I was also speaking with somebody in a retail store, which is actually a franchise model. The thing is, that is all fun. I'm gonna say this very quickly. The moment that you are getting in a franchise model, you don't have any freedom when it's about marketing, lead collection, etc. And I always hammer on the fact, the moment that you start any kind of offline business and you don't start collecting the leads, you don't have anything the moment that you sell the business. Maybe you sell it for a profit, maybe, but in the meantime you slave away in your own business. Especially the normal retail businesses, they don't collect leads. And don't think now I have to do 10% discount to get their contacts. No, that's not how it works. That is too simple thinking. The thing is, start collecting leads. I'm giving everything away for free. And not only this, yesterday I had this talk with this guy who owns multiple stores, franchise model. And this is the thing, he asked me what I was doing. I simply increase the value towards the client and for the person who exploits the business. And this is the thing, I told him normal people do A to B. That means somebody comes into your store or on your online store, get the product and give you money. That is only A to B. Between those 2 points, there are so many segments in between to increase the value for the client and for you, the guy or the girl who owns the store. But somehow, and this is, I'm going somewhere with this, a lot of people simply don't want to see it because they're so brainwashed by the traditional thinking that when I say those things, some people they look at me like they see water burn. By the way, when it's about that, I have seen it because I also visit other kind of people. But anyway, besides that, the thing is, that means if I would, let's say it like this, I run offline projects, tons of them. The thing is, if somebody would walk in and he would say there are so many possibilities to provide more value to the client, but also towards myself, not the financial sense of the word of the sense, or I don't know what. The thing is, also feel good about the service and the product that you provide, because this is another thing, especially when you're in the service business, you know, which I highly not recommend, but let's assume you are. When you solve or provide a solution, there will be other problems popping up. Those are already your sub products. You know, you always create more products or problems that need to be solved, especially when you're in the service business. But not only this, also when it's about normal down sales, cross sales. I don't know, I have to think about my words, because there's one business that I'm now busy with. No, I'm not going to mention it yet because those prices are not solid yet. But this business is going to be part of the case study thing. The thing is, when you have also a normal retail store, there is so much opportunity to actually not only increase the value, but also that after 1 year you're fed up with the business. You know, in the beginning everything is shiny. Been there, done that. I've been there, done that 20 years ago. Now I'm doing everything from the phone. I'm 47, started selling door-to-door when I was 11. I always mention these things, and not only this, I don't take weekends off. I don't do normal people things like watching television. And this is not to brag, I'm just sharing how obsessed I am with growth. Did I have a lot of distractions in the past decades? Yes, because I simply didn't have boundaries with anything, because I was a total idiot. But I always had the ambition, and not only this, my ambitions were in general way much higher than my talents. So that's why I'm sharing, and that's why I speak like this, because I simply really do care about people when they're missing out on opportunities, and then in the meantime complain about the government, how bad, and the prices are raising about everything. But in the meantime you're missing out on so many opportunities. Increase the value towards yourself and the client, which means more money in your pocket, and people are more than happy to pay you for it. So the thing is, when it's about lead collection, what I always say, you know, some people, they have you know, they pay insurances, blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, what I always say, run for 1 year an offline business, any kind of thing, collect the leads and burn down the place. That's how I see lead collection. The moment that you actually get rid of the business, like a traditional business person, you sell it for a little bit profit, you pay taxes, and in the end, you know, let's be very fair and square over here, the majority of people don't become millionaires from selling their stores, their retail stores. So what would you like to have is a whole database of clients. Yeah, but Alan, I was in the real estate and I don't know what to do with it. Now, for example, you got tons of leads. What do you think people with houses that you sold houses to, what do you think? They don't do repairments? You don't think that they like to have new floors? Don't you think that they like, I don't know what, carpets and curtains, so you can cross market to your list? Not only this, it's also easy for you to get in other subcategories. You don't have to keep on running in, let's say, the real estate. I'm mentioning the real estate very simply because I'm going to deep dive really deep into this one in this country. But anyway, that's another thing. Think like this. The business that you're running now, the main product that you're selling, or in the niche that you're in, has a lot of subcategories. Not only this, you, and especially the majority of traditional sellers, don't run an online store. And if they do, they get, of course, they're redirected to marketing companies, and marketing companies don't give a shit. Those marketing companies just set up A to B sales in the virtual world, which means an e-commerce store, but still they forget about a lot of behind the scenes sale machines. I set up those things. The thing is, I'm also going to give those away, but that's another story. If you, let's assume, got an e-commerce store and you, let's say, a normal business person, you don't have a clue what does that mean behind the scenes. Now, for example, I mentioned this very simple basic example. A lot of people missing out on the abandoned cart sequence, which means people leave a product in the cart and they leave because people get distracted. I'm going to tell you one thing about a current project. We start tracking this because this person wants to level up now, finally. Very grateful always for the opportunity. The thing is, on an average, at the moment, there are 7 products left in the cart. And we start tracking 72 hours ago. So I don't know what the numbers are now. But yesterday, the numbers were 14. So far in the past 48 hours, that means, let's say, 7 products per day. Which means there's an average around €100 revenue just left untouched. But what if there is a sequence in place? 3 hours later, when people put something in the cart, they get distracted. 3 hours later, they get a message: hey, this is in your cart. Just a reminder. Another 3 hours later, or maybe 6 hours later, we noticed that you didn't order the product yet. What is there something that blah blah blah? So they can maybe say, no, I don't like this, I like that. We ask for feedback. Then another thing, the third email could be 10% discount on the thing, just to move the product. And this is another thing, a lot of retail owners, they think they focused so much on their so-called profit margins. The thing is, if this person is already interested in your store because they put it in the cart, maybe something happened also when it's about trust. They did the research. That can be all solved. But the thing is, when the moment that they already put something in the cart, there is some sort of, and that is the kind of connection you don't want to do manually. Because if you talk about 100 products, you're not going to send them one by one a message. Unless you're just an obsessed salesperson like myself, then you would. But now it's not necessary anymore. We live in an era where things can get automated. But this is when it's about automation, I always recommend, and this is about other automations like distribution of content, Always do it first manual, so you understand each and every segment of the process. If you don't understand the segment of the process, each and every segment of the process, you should not automate it. But when it's about outreaching, the automation that I know, the most basic version, you know, things are way much more complicated, can get more and can be way much more in-depth. You know, you can put a 7 email sequence. I'm not gonna dig too deep into technical details, but those things are possible, and I'm doing this for a living. I live and breathe this. I breathe constantly also people, their emotions. I'm also going to tell you a little bit quickly about this. I am obsessed communicating with people from all kinds of levels of society. I'm shaking hands pretty much in every neighborhood. Not only this, I'm shaking hands with people with different occupations, different genders, different age groups. I know what's living on, and this is not to brag, this is simply me. I'm obsessed with communication. So when I speak about, also when it's about retail stores, why do I feel deeply for them? Because I've been there, done that. But in our time, I'm 47, at my time, 20 years ago, all those automations did not exist the way they do now. And I wasn't into it. I had the mindset of a normal business person, but of course I had always the growth focused thing. Now at 47, lost a couple of times everything, but the guy upstairs decided, no, this is not for you, because you don't want to be stuck at one location. And if you would live or actually earn your money from an offline store, then at least start collecting online the leads. That's the thing. Try to imagine this: the moment that you sell the store, you don't have anything. Yeah, a little bit money in your pocket, but trust me, you get bored out of your mind, you fill up your nose, and I don't know what you're gonna do with the money. But the thing is, you want to have this database of 1 year, maybe 5 years, 10 years of collecting all those connections that you made in the store. They bought with all the happiness your products. Of course, I don't know how you treat your clients, but the thing is, let's assume that you were, let's say, obsessed with what you're selling. Let's assume. Then you were more than happy to provide more value afterwards. When you lay down next to the pool, you got 10,000 leads on your list. A list of people who bought from you. You know the price categories, you know which products they bought. How targeted can you reach out with an offer? So for example, very simple, I'm also busy with gift shop. I always say, look in the basement, think about the products that you didn't list yet on the online store, or simply you don't see the value. We just add them as very tiny sub products when they check out on the cart. Very simple. Get rid of stock, get rid of products that are simply left untouched in the basement, or we just make them liquid. Why would you leave a product somewhere collecting dust? Just collect the cash, you know, put it back in your business, or do something else fun with it. A lot of people sitting on gold mines, it is ridiculous. And I go back to this guy yesterday that I spoke with. He has 3 stores. It's actually a franchise thing, so he's pretty much stuck to the franchise. No marketing freedom, no lead collection. The moment that he gets rid of the store, has a little bit profit, well, that never runs into the millions. The thing is, so why would you spend parts of your life on this, that you don't build a compounding thing? So if you would build a retail of getting to retail, offline retail, or any kind of service, you know, you start cleaning dogs or whatever, you need to put services online, and also with this, work with discounts, combo packages, etc., upsells, downsells, only with the focus on collecting those leads. Because the moment that you sell the store, the business, or whatever you got running, you can lay down next to the pool and you can send out messages, get in touch with you. Now you can of course level it up by start speaking on the camera the way I do. The only reason that I'm actually saying these things is just make people aware of stuff. Awareness, that's the only thing. And not only that, the people that are working with me, they build more trust. The people who are considering to work with me, they start to understand that I'm not operating in the bullshit thing. I am hyped up and constantly obsessed with what I'm doing. The thing is, I'm also not had this little tickle. I'm not driving around in Lamborghinis. I'm not sitting on the boat between the islands drinking cocktails. sitting with the laptop, blah, 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 you know, and they say this is the lifestyle that you should live, and you should do this as quick as possible by buying my course for $27, $47, $97. No, I'm giving everything, all the work structures away for free, and only 0.00001% will come back to me and will say, hey, I started 5 years ago this, and now I'm hitting a roof. Or I have this list of leads. What I'm gonna do with this? Then we talk about segmentation, etc, etc. We're not gonna get too deep into this, but Dylan, is a very long game. It is, but the thing is, I'm not over here to make money from you. I'm also not over here to make money from YouTube videos. I am just sharing my knowledge so your value towards the world increases. Because when you run a business, why not doing very tiny optimizations of sales processes? Think about also when it's about hiring people. I'm giving away those thoughts. I always mention thoughts, not directions, not telling you what to do. I always say thoughts, so you can maybe consider, hey, yeah, this person is maybe not the best person for my business, but I do like him or her. Yes, been there, done that. Too humane, they steal from you. Been there, done it. I told you once a story about this junkie guy. Was very close to get on the street, but anyway, I hired him, put him in an apartment and all this kind of stuff. Thing is, that's of course outrageous, because I would never do this again, because, you know, there are people on this planet that simply not want to be helped. And that is not the only thing. At the end of the road, he blamed me for everything that went wrong in his whole miserable life. So again, another example, you know, where I speak about, I'm doing this for a living obsessively, and I did everything outside the normality, totally ridiculous, outside the boundaries of, let's say, normality. So, you know, really think about what I'm saying. You are a retail owner, or a retail business owner, a normal, any kind of business, and you don't collect leads. You're already more for 2 years over there. You're already bored out of your mind because you have to go every day to the business. The majority of business owners that you probably know, yeah, I have to go to the office now, I have to go to the business. Now the wording say enough. See, I'm into communication, so people there, the way they present themselves, the way they speak about stuff, tells me enough about how bored they already are. You know, the thing is, I have to go to my business. I have to. Nobody forces you. You made that choice, and probably you're stuck to leasing contracts, renting contracts, I don't know what. You're stuck to a lot of stuff. But in the meantime, while you're stuck to it, why not start optimizing it? And not only this, it also would probably fire up a little bit more enthusiasm again. How many business people that I walk into and I speak with them, there's no fire about their products or their services. And also, especially, there's a lower class of people. The moment that you would talk with them about their products or services outside business hours, they would say, yeah, not now. Now I'm busy with my private stuff. You're not obsessed, so don't do it. You know, if you have to do something, it's the same like a job. And I'm never speaking down on people who have jobs. The thing is, let's say it like this: the guy upstairs didn't put you on this planet to do that. You have to do things. You need freedom. People need freedom. Freedom of choice. Freedom of choice. And a lot of people would not understand what that even mean. Example, a lot of people, you know, when they have a girlfriend, I'm a man, so I speak from a man perspective. The thing is, a lot of guys, they would say, oh, she cannot go out in that sexy clothes because otherwise I feel very, you know, not very confident about myself anymore, and probably she's gonna cheat on me. That is simply a very scarcity mindset, and that is with everything. Scarcity mindset. You try to protect something that you don't have or own. You don't own anything or anyone in this life. So what you can exploit at this moment, let's assume again you got a retail business, you can collect those leads in a system that is yours. It's yours. It's not on Facebook, it's not on Instagram, it's not on YouTube. You don't own anything, but those leads are yours. You can store them offline. You can put them in a so-called email marketing system, and I'm using the most basic words that can be understood by a 12-year-old. So start collecting them. You're anyway doing already what you're doing. Why not putting a little bit more effort into it and collect those leads? And this is not to talk like an internet nerd, and again, I walk the other way. I start at 11 knocking on doors. and not selling some other people their services. I sold my own service. I cleaned bicycles. That's how I started. And the thing is, I'm never saying anything to brag, but in the meantime I did tons and tons of offline projects, offline businesses. Did I fail a lot? Yeah, trust me, more than enough. But also now at 47, doing everything from the phone. And this is not what you do overnight when you have to come up with all the stuff by yourself. I give away all the work structures for free. What I always highly suggest, let's assume you waste 3 hours per day on your scrolling activities. Instead, do 15 minutes the first 30 days on my work structures. Not trying to sell you anything, I'm just giving everything away for free. So, you know, just try it. Also for your own life. And now I speak a little bit more to the normal people who waste their life on scrolling and then probably have to go to their 9 to 5, all unnecessary. Anyway, I just want to drop this thing. When you run an offline business, retail, whatever, service business, start collecting those leads. And of course, first make that decision. Yes, I want to collect the leads. That's it. Not thinking or start overthinking, oh, where I'm gonna store them, or where I'm gonna do this. First make that decision. Observe yourself. Maybe you have to be on your place of business. That's not necessary. I'm telling you, if you would talk 2 hours with me, you would go fucking nuts about how much time you already lost. I'm telling you. And again, I'm not trying to sell you my service over here, because I'm not into this. I only speak with people who are really into it. And not only this, if you really decide to do something about it, a lot of people just DM me on Instagram. When it's about DMing on Instagram, don't start with, hi bro, how are you doing? I don't respond to this. With all the respect, I love to speak with people, but I cannot respond every time back, yeah, I'm doing good, how are you doing, blah blah blah. Small talk doesn't work for me. The thing is, boom, get to the point if you want. But really, if you have to go to your place of business and you have to be there, and you look at your employees, the light is already out of their eyes. You don't put them on commission based, etc. And not only commission based, you can give them a fixed salary, but also do a little bit commission based. You know, make more than this and this amount of sales. You can calculate, you can talk with your accountant. Just speak with him. What can we set as a commission so I don't lose money, only gain money? And not only this, raise the morality, the moral, you know, the hyped up stuff. Like in the beginning when you open the store, you feel good about it, you want to tell the world about it, shout it from the roof, but in the end, nobody gives a shit. Really think about this. And I thought I speak a lot about, you know, I could sit on a boat back and forward between the islands in Malta, you know, with the blue water, and tell the world, oh, buy me a $27 course. Yes, that would be another money stream. But in my opinion, that is not real. And I speak about the real stuff. I'm doing this on a daily basis. This morning, my day started 5:15. And until 11 I was bam bam bam, or maybe now I'm just went out. So the thing is, between 11 and 2 I'm always doing my calisthenics and my shooting the videos thing. Anyway, think about it. Do me a favor by doing yourself a favor. You know, even if you would watch it on the other side of the planet, and you would say, yeah, what has that to do with me? I'm happy with my business. No, then it's good. But trust me, the majority of people missing out on a lot of opportunities of earning extra, but also providing more value to the client. Consider it. I never say force my view upon people. Like some of the religious people, they say you have to do this. Nothing any down talking on people who are in the religious thing. But anyway, besides that, you understand what I mean. I'm not putting my foot between your door and slam the books around your ear and say, sign the contract. No, I'm just trying to put some thoughts in your head to consider to optimize the yield, the return of your investments, financial investment, time investment. And you have to understand, let's assume you are 25. You should burn down the place when you're 30. Sell the place, but also have thousands of leads in your pocket. A lot of opportunities are over there. We're not getting in all the opportunities, but along the way you should maybe consider to subscribe and hit the notification bell, ding dong, and you know, I will give a lot of thoughts away. Why do I do this? simply because I'm obsessed. Anyway, do me a favor by doing yourself a favor. Increase your return on your efforts, financially and time-wise. Anyway, this was me from Sofia, Bulgaria. Why I'm over here? Because I love Sofia. I'm for 4 years, I think, already back in Bulgaria. I haven't left Sofia, only one time. And yeah, I'm just saying, please do me a favor. Your business has way much value, way much more potential than you think now, but also when you sold it. Just saying. And also when you would collect the leads and wouldn't do anything with it, selling the business plus the collected leads increases the value of your business. No, money in your pocket, do whatever you want with it. Ciao for now.